Hello everyone, this is Benjamin Ramirez. I'm playing with a friend in a chess group. Um, okay, I will be playing black pieces, so I'm gonna get my chessboard set up. I play better with a chessboard. If you guys don't know, for the new people who are watching my videos, I play much better with a chessboard. So e4, I like playing e5 here. I don't like playing the Sicilian at all. I actually have my own videos against the Sicilian, so I don't play the actual Sicilian itself. Now, the center game I don't have much book knowledge on. I like going for I think it's called a Petrov, after knight f3, knight f6. So here, I'm just going to capture. I'll accept it. That's fine. I'm not 100% sure what to do, and I don't want to complicate it. He moves down. I believe capturing here might be a mistake. I think it will accelerate him, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Correct? If I'm not mistaken, I believe it will help him develop his knight and stuff faster. So, and I believe there's a lot of traps here too, if my memory is correct. I haven't learned them, so I won't try them as white, but I remember about it. So I'm gonna avoid those because, like I said, I don't even know they are. So if I don't know them, I may fall for it if I take the pawn. He takes with his queen. So far everything looks normal. Center development. A part of me wants to take the pawn, but he'll just call check and make me lose my race to castle. So I'm gonna develop normally. Like, I'm taking my time because I don't know the opening at all. I want to make sure I'm not gonna get jacked up, basically. I think this looks safe. It looks solid. So I'm gonna go with knight to f6. I'm not sure how I handle e5. I'm glad he didn't do e5, but he might be doing it next. So I gotta consider how to protect myself properly. I believe bishop to e7 will do it. So I'm gonna do bishop e7. So if he moves down, I can move my knight. I believe that's my best response. I'm sure there's other things I could have done, but this is what I felt most comfortable with. e5, which is what I expected. I have a few options. I can counterattack with his queen. I can play c5. I can play knight c6. I can move my knight out the way, which is the purpose of my bishop. And maybe knight to g4 looks safe, but it looks kind of risky, a little weird. I don't have an actual attack. I'm not sure if e5 will be fine. It looks okay. I'm gonna start with a counterattack against his queen, since I can, and then I'll decide where my knight goes, because my knight has different places he can go. So I want to have that. All right. So my pieces are a little cramped. He's pushed forward. I don't like my position too much. I mean, it's not horrible, but I don't like it too much. So I'm just gonna be safe. I'm gonna move my knight back. He might take my other one, and I will have a weird pawn structure. I can also take his bishop with my bishop, so that's also possible. If he takes my bishop, I'll probably take off my knight, is my guess. That way I don't have a weird... Oh no, wait a second. His queen. And then my queen. So we're just trading off queens here. I can call a check and actually take his rook. So I thought for some reason in my mind, I thought he moved his queen. I seen this earlier, but I didn't think it was going to happen because there was no reason for it to actually happen. So I can call a check and take his rook, or I can just simply take his bishop. Right now, if I take his bishop, he would have to move his bishop out the way. So I'm gonna call check and take his rook. That's what I'm gonna do. I believe that's the best move. Okay, his king was over. I'm just gonna take his rook just because I don't want to lose the opportunity to do so. He's probably gonna move his bishop out the way. That looks normal. I'm gonna castle here. So I'm gonna try to play safe. Now that we got the opening out the way and I'm up a little bit of material but not much, because a pawn and a bishop for a rook. If we simply just trade, it can turn drawish depending on how I go about it. So I don't want to just simply trade just to trade. But I do think that trading would give me an advantage since I'm, if I'm able to get a pawn, trading would definitely be a huge advantage for me. I can move my knight up to c5, and then maybe to e4 if needed as a possible movement. Moving to c5 also frees my bishop, so I like it. a6 can kick his bishop away. Knight to b6 is possible, and if he takes, I can take and free my rook up, and I can, if he doesn't take, then I can go to c4 with my knight. I like I like knight to b6 because of the possible check, and also hopefully he doubles my pawns up. It looks bad for me, but I might be able to get my knight out of there. I want my knight out of there for the a1 square. If he moves both his knights, he might have my knight. So I want to try something to save my knight. So he is definitely trying to, he might be doing what I think he's going to be doing. So I'm going to call it check. I want to find a way to save my knight. So check is the first thing. I'm not 100% sure how to save my knight, but I want to make the effort. I should have probably thought a little bit more into it. Obviously, I need to capture, otherwise I lose the material for nothing in return. I believe he might have my knight no matter what I do. He might have my knight no matter what I do. So maybe I should have taken his bishop instead of his rook. We would have been even. I thought I had something going here that was really good. That's still nice though. Should I move my knight? Should I completely avoid it? I'm gonna move my knight and call it check. And if he takes, I get to take his pawn. So I at least get a pawn out the deal. I was thinking about ignoring it altogether because if I lost it, I lost it, and I can just develop more. But if I can get a pawn out of it, I'll get a pawn out of it. I really didn't see much else that I can do. So far so good. I'll just recapture. That way it's not a complete loss. Well, he can move his knight to D. Yeah, he can move his knight. Alright, so I'm going to take my time. I've been kind of rushing a little bit, which isn't very good. So it's a 30-minute game. 2 knights for a rook, and then it's going to be 2 knights and a pawn for a rook. So I'm going to have to figure something out that's most solid. And I'm gonna develop my piece. I'm gonna try to think very basic and simple here. I really thought I had an upper hand, and I didn't. So it's very good for him. I was not expecting. I felt very confident in what I was doing. So that's very good for him. So I gotta review this game and see exactly where I went wrong. That's the great thing about chess, is that you always learn. I love learning, so this is very good. I don't know if attacking is the best thing for me, but if I don't attack, he's going to attack. So I'm gonna attack, and plus I'm gonna go f6. He doesn't have a light square bishop anymore, so that I don't have to worry about that diagonal. So that's what I'm gonna do. He moves down. If I'm like rook to c8 and he captures, and I capture his bishop, if he captures my d7 bishop with pawn, then I capture his bishop, I might be able to move my other rook down to d8 and take his piece. I don't exactly see. Okay, he takes. I move there. He takes. I take. If he goes knight to e6, what would I be able to do? Oh, I can just capture the pawn and call it check. So he can't do that. So I like it. I'm gonna move my f rook over, only because I'm thinking about moving my pawns up and attacking at some point. Otherwise, I move my other rook over because of the open files are good. But I'm gonna do this because I think I don't know. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I should have been my other rook because of the open files. But whatever. It's a little weird move. I was expecting him to simply take my bishop and trade bishops, you know. Alright, that's a chess group thing. They said they don't do promotional stuff, I guess. Most don't, but everyone let me do mine because it's new. They don't want people just running around doing the same opening over and over again, a whole bunch of YouTubers, but I don't really consider myself a YouTuber. I consider myself a chess player, and I want to share my opening that I've been working on for quite some time. But this obviously isn't my opening, but it's still a game, and I like to review my games regardless. So I'm not 100% sure how I can get an advantage from here. So my best bet is not to blunder, basically, and try to win by not blundering, or at least draw over his advantage. So okay, now after the rook moves over, what looks best? Instead, I wanted to push my pawns. I mean, I can attack his bishop and have fun, play around, but I think about pushing my pawns a little bit. It might be premature, but because of my rooks and their placement, I think that might be best. Unless I see something else as better. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go move my pawn up. I think that's okay. I want to start pushing my pawns because, like I said, my rooks are not very active, and that's kind of bad if that's my only pieces available is my rooks. So I'm going to try to push them out there and get them going. Okay. He's pushing his pawns, I'm pushing mine. There's a good chance that his will make it first. I was thinking a5, but I'm starting to think that's a mistake right now. I'm starting to think it's a mistake. Because if he captures my bishop with his knight and I take with my rook, he can take my pawn with his knight and I lose another pawn on top of that. So I think a6 would be better if I'm trying to push. And yeah, a6 better if I'm trying to push. So I'm gonna do a6. I wanted a5 because of the aggressiveness, but if he captures my bishop, then I simply lose a piece. So, all right. I like bishop d5. I think it stops the possible trades. I don't know why he's not trading. I would trade if I was him, only because less pieces means easier to win. But again, with the rooks, it might be more drawish. So I don't move my bishop over. I think d5. I mean, I can move my rook to d8, but like I said, he can try to target off his bishop, and then I have to keep moving it around. So I'm gonna do bishop. Where do I want the bishop? I keep thinking d5, but I'm like, I can play it to b7. I can play it, to e8. I think b7 will give me a better diagonal. It keeps me more. I don't want to centralize it too much. I probably should have because of my pawn. Actually, that was probably better because of my pawn. He's not taking my pawn. And he plays well, but it's a little unusual. I'm used to people taking pawns when they can and trading pieces when they're up in material. That's kind of like normal. I'm gonna now defend my pawn. I don't know why I did that. So I just basically wasted a move, but that's okay. It's not horrible. Alright, so half my time is gone. Let's see how this works. I don't want to rush. I'm a little worried about the pawn. So I'm a little worried about that pawn. I think he's going to try to push it. I'm going to go rook a7. I don't want to do that. I'm a little concerned about his pawn and his pushing, so I'm going to try to block it off with e8 and then have it extra targeted. So I think rook to e8 is best here. Let me make sure. I have king at f7 as well. King at f7 would, if he tries to push down, that would definitely trade a pawn and rook for rook, which is good for me. So I'm going to move my king instead. I think that's better, only because of, Alright. I'm going to push his bishop away a little bit. Not exactly. I mean, he has flight squares, but I'm not sure if I can get him to completely abandon his pawn at some point. I want him to abandon his pawn, but I don't think I can force it. A5, is A5 okay? I mean, it takes care of the pushed pawn, A5. The bishop can only capture it, and then I capture the pawn, and then we trade. I'm gonna do a waiting move. I'm gonna do this first, just to see what he does. I'm gonna do a waiting move first. I mean, I can play A5 later. It's not going anywhere. So he captures. Of course, I capture with my pawn. His turn. My waiting move is actually kind of bad because now he has initiative. So I didn't think about that. I'm gonna capture. Let's see. He might have two pushed pawns. He has two pushed pawns. So I think this will cover it. I think A5 might cover it, or should I do something else? I need to protect my pawn. If I go to bishop G2, he'll move down, bishop F1, and then move my pawn to attack the bishop. That's 1-2 moves. It's one pawn down, one move, another pawn down. He still can't queen. Alright, he still can't queen if I do this. So I'm going to do this. It's a little complicated. I don't think he can queen. If he does, then I horribly messed up in my counting. But I believe I can believe bishop F1 is okay. No, it's not. It is not okay. After bishop F1, rook to G3, he can push down and force. Alright, I wasted a move. Okay. I wasted a move. I'm going to try to swing my rook over. Maybe swing my rook over. So I think I wasted about 2-3 moves already, but that's okay. You know, it's not horrible. I'm in a bad spot, obviously. He's going to play probably rook to G3 regardless. But my rook can swing over at some point. Now I can my bishop first or my rook over, and I'm thinking my rook is probably the best. Because if I'm my bishop right now, he can move his pawn down. So this is going to stop the queen part. He can't just queen. So I need my bishop to F1 and then A6. I mean A5, I mean. I want to like settle all of that. So I'm going to take here. I'm going to see how this works. I feel like I'm in a really bad spot, but I feel pretty solid. I feel like I'm okay, even though I'm not very happy with my my setup here. All right, he's protecting both his pawns. If I go rook to H8, that will be trying to attack both pawns. Well, kind of. I'm going to go rook H8. I'm going to attack both pawns. Well, kind of attack both pawns. I want to stop his queen from existing. I'm not sure if I can even push my pawn at all at some point. Yeah, if I do, we'll just probably trade pawns if I did that. It's okay. It's okay. Weird cat. I didn't even notice he moved. The cat's messing with me. All right. I can attack and target his knight. That way he's not Yeah, I'm gonna target his knight. I'm gonna try to get rid of his defender. He's defending his pawns. I want to get rid of who's defending his pawns. That's a very simple concept. Knight to d6 might cause me problems though. I think I moved prematurely. I'm not sure. Knight to d6, king move up one, pawn down queen. If I take, he'll take. That I think that's horrible for me actually. I'm not sure. Or if knight moves, I would just not just take the pawn with my king. I can just do that. And actually, that wouldn't be too bad. If I did that, I would be okay. For a second there, I thought I was in trouble. So. I don't know why I thought king go to e6 if he calls check. That would have been horrible. I just take the pawn. So right now it's 3 pieces versus 2, and his knight is not being used over there. So it's basically my rook and bishop versus his knight and bishop. So I don't know how that turned out to be that way. He just simply didn't put his knight in the game. If I capture, he can call check, and then I move back, and he take my. If I capture, he can call check. I move back, he will take my rook. I will take the pawn. So knight and pawn versus rook, I'll be taking, and then he have 2 minor pieces versus my 1. So that's not acceptable. I don't want 2 minor pieces versus 1, especially in this situation. So I'm gonna put farther protection against the possibility of him making a queen. I don't need to rush. Well, I do need to kind of rush because of my time, but I don't need to rush on this situation. So he makes a queen. I'm guessing bishop is. I don't want to lose my rook, so I'm guessing bishop would be fine. So he traded knight for bishop. I'm gonna take this with my king because I want that pawn. So he moved back. I guess we can trade pawns. That should be fine. I should be okay with this. He still has some kind of advantage, I believe. He has 2 pieces versus my 1. So even though he can't move his knight anywhere, it's just still available, and I can't checkmate him in like 3-4 moves, so he can probably bring that knight out very soon. Can I block his knight from coming out? You know what? Since I don't see any actual checkmate moves or anything that's gonna get me to win the game, I'm gonna try to block his knight from coming out right now and see if I can be successful in that. If I can block his knight from coming out, bring my king in, maybe I can do something with that. Okay. He can still move his knight to b1, then c. So I'm gonna move my king up. I'm gonna centralize my king. That's usually best in end games. And this is pretty much end game right here. So centralizing my pieces would be good for me. That was a little unexpected. I was expected from his knight to come out. But if I capture, his knight will come out. So I don't want to capture and help him develop. If I attack his knight will be forced to go back. So I'm gonna attack his knight. I'm not sure if that's the best thing, but I want to prevent his knight from developing. So that's what we're gonna do here. Hopefully he moves his knight back, and I can move my king up. Bishop attack my pawn. My other pawn goes up. Bishop goes down to attack again. My rook can go down. Okay, I think it's safe. I should have checked it before I did it, but it's pretty safe. After he moves his knight to b1, I move my king to c6. Bishop to e7 attacking my pawn. a5. Bishop to d5 attacking my pawn. And I can move my rook to h5. h5, or I can move my pawn up again, which h5 looks safer for me, I think. Oh, I'm very weirded out by that. That's a very odd move. It triples my pawns. He can capture the other one. It can be very drawish, I think. Bishop, pawn versus rook. I'm gonna have to take. I think I have to take. I mean, I could probably maybe call a check first, but I don't see the point. I'm not gonna call checks just to call a check. I'll just move my king up, centralize my king. I don't know what he's going to do, or his plans are. It's a little odd move. I can maybe put his king in the corner. Call check, him move over, take the pawn, bishop take, I take, king move over, me go up. I'm gonna call check. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure if I want to take the pawn or not. I don't know if that's drawish or if that's winning, but I have to consider it. I think that's draw. If I take the pawn, he takes, I take. He moves king over, I move my king up. He can move his king over, I move it up one, back. Yeah, I can't get him out of that corner if I take. If I take, I cannot get him out of that corner, so I cannot take. So I gotta move out. I don't know. Alright, bishop moves. I think this is best. He can't move anywhere. He has 2 squares to move. I can literally take his pawn and march up probably for checkmate. Oh wait, that is checkmate. He moves over when I can take his bishop. I was thinking him move over, me take the pawn, him move back, and me go up and him go back and forth as I try to come down with my king, but that is checkmate if I just move over. That really beat my head in not to see that. Also, blocking stuff is good for you. Sometimes it leads to checkmate and forced moves, so in this case, checkmate. I was really thinking he was gonna go to king a1, my king take the pawn, him move back, me go up, him move back, and me try to maneuver everything around, and maybe go to rook to e8 and then a8 for checkmate. That's what I thought I was gonna have to do, something like that. But that was a good game. I would try to record it, I guess, again. Let's try a new one. That's perfectly fine. Not sure how well this will work, but alright, I have my Sicilian that I've been working on. I hope that all goes well. Okay, he wants to try it. I'm gonna go b4. Everything I've been working on is capture. I haven't been working on anything else besides capture. So, okay, he has done something a little different than capturing. From my personal experience, if he does not capture, I personally like to capture myself. So I'm going to do that here. Bishop captures. All right. C3 looks possible, just for a maybe d4 push. Later, I'm gonna do c3. Yeah, my variations are e4, c5, b4, c takes b4, knight to f3. All my variations are based on that. So I have, right now I'm working on videos on knight to c6 after, but that's not the only way. I have a lot of different ways. So I think I'm going to continue my plan. I'm going to go d4, push the bishop back. I can play e5 later. I might even play knight to a3 for the possibility of knight to b5 for a possible fork, maybe. But right now that's not going to happen with his bishop in that square. I can play bishop a3 soon for the purpose of preventing him from castling, which is also part of the video that I was talking about, is preventing him from castling. So I'm gonna do that. Let's see if I can. Okay, he's attacking my piece twice there. My queen can go up, can go to f3, queen can go to d3. I'm not sure about b3. c2 is possible if I wanted to move my knight in and my bishop in. I think c2 is best because I can move my bishop to d3. I think that's a good square for my bishop. And if my queen's in f3, I mean, then I'll be losing a. Okay, so I think c2 is best. It defends it, allows my knight to develop, allows my bishop to develop, and I think that is the best way to go about this. Queen to c7 is another attacker. It's not too good, I don't think. Let's say I ignore it. Let's say I go knight to f3 and just completely ignore it. And he goes knight to c. I take. Queen goes. Knight, bishop comes and captures. I move my king out the way. But he can't take my knight, my rook, because I'll take his queen. So he really can't do it. I don't think he can. Knight to f3. Knight takes c. c3, knight takes c3, bishop takes check, king's move over 1, and there's nothing. And I can move bishop b2 to try to get a free piece. I think I'll get a free piece out of this if I ignore it. I'm not 100% sure if he can defend it, but I see a possible free piece. So I'm gonna go for it and see if he takes the pawn. Alright, knight captures. Oh no, if I capture with my knight, he can capture with his queen. So that was very bad calculation on my part. Very bad. If he takes with his queen and called check, yeah, I can't. I gotta defend my... That was not too good. That was not too good on my part. I thought I had a free piece, but if he captured with his queen and called check, and then I take it, he called check in, and then he takes my rook. So that was pretty bad. Well, I see an attack that I haven't normally seen. I've barely ever seen any attack against anything I've done in this opening. So it's refreshing to see something. Alright, I'm gonna try to counterattack here. I don't like this situation I'm in. So I'm just gonna attack the queen. I don't like the situation, while keeping my position where it was. Alright. That looks safe. I think I should develop a piece, or I can attack more. Be crazy and attack more for no reason, because I don't have to. For no reason, just attack. And then I'm gonna move my bishop over for castling if I have to. This is actually more complicated than I thought the opening would be. With e6 instead of knight c, instead of capture, he denied it, put e6. So declined was more complicated than I expected it to be. So I haven't really played denied very often at all, really. I'm perfectly fine with this trade because if he takes what he takes, I take with my bishop and I can castle faster. So this accelerates my castling without, making it too difficult for me. So I'm perfectly fine with this type of line. So that would stop my castle if I did that. It'll put me in his situation. I'm gonna have some fun and kick his queen around, make him lose a little bit of time. Last time I was losing a lot more time than him. So I'm gonna see if I can make him lose a little bit of time as I think. As long as my bishop is blocking the castle, I'll be fine. After he moves probably queen to c7, I should move my rook probably to b1, double attacking the knight. Maybe. Then he can move his knight down to a3, forking my pieces. So that might not be so good. probably won't play that. But if I play that, he forks it. I can't take that. I can't take his B8 knight because his other knight's in the way. He has to move his c7 because his bishop. He has to defend his bishop. It's either c7 or d8. What about queen to b3, attacking his knight? He moves his queen back. My queen can go up, attacking his knight. I don't see where his knight can actually go, because he's blocking it off by the queen. My bishop would be able to take it if he moves it there. He can't take my pawn. Okay. Queen of b3 looks fine. Queen of a4 looks fine. Attacking the knight. Actually, queen of a4 is also attacking the bishop and the knight. So b3 is fine, it's attacking the knight. a4 is attacking both. And if he just moves down, I think a4 is actually much better than b3 because I get to attack both. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna attack both. All he can do is trade, take my knight, I take his bishop, and then he has a extra move to try to figure something out. Okay, so I take, and now he has time to figure out what to do about that. I'm not sure what's really good for him here. That defends everything, so he defended everything. Since he defended everything, I have a lot of pieces nearby him, so it's always good to develop an attack. So I'm gonna develop my knight. That's usually a good rule. He's probably gonna take my, bishop, and we can trade. That's fine. But right now he has a lot of attacks against him, and I can have my knight come in to call check, and if he moves his king, move my knight to b7 check, and he take my, he being checked by my bishop, so I can take his queen, unless he defends it. So I have pretty good attacks against him right now. So I'm not sure if I want to do it right away or not, or if I want to take the piece back first. If he takes my bishop, I can probably go knight to d6 first, or rook takes first. So I gotta think about both. But if he takes with his bishop and I go there, he can just simply move his bishop back, defending. Hey, if he moves bishop there and I call check, he can't move bishop back. He has to move his king, and then I call check, and then I take his queen. So I actually probably don't want to take back off my rook. I might want to take off my knight first. So I'm gonna do that. Alright. I don't know what he can do about it. Let's that move maybe move his queen out the way. Queen h4. Okay, he did that, and he's seen my threats. So I'm gonna call check just to see what happens. Call check. Everything's pretty well protected. I might be able to take his bishop with my bishop at some point, and I'm going to not sure the order that I want right here. It depends on what he does. I can't just be like, I want to do this. If he moves, he can't move anywhere else because I would have taken his queen. I can call check and take a rook, but last time I did that, I kind of messed up pretty bad. I can start with my bishop first, keeping my castle rights, and then after he takes back, take his rook, unless he's going to defend his loss of rook. And if he does that, then I have a free piece. So it's up to him if I get a free bishop and he protects his rook, or he takes back and then I get to... Okay, he takes back. I'm gonna call check. I won't get too happy. Last time I did this, I almost lost the game. It was kind of horrible. He got lucky. I was just focused on his pawns to make sure he doesn't make a queen, and that was enough for me to win. I'll take his rook. I don't see why not. It kind of slowed my attack down a little bit, but I don't know. I wasn't thinking about that move. That's not okay. I'm gonna have to go to f1. I don't want him to keep checking me forever, so I might have to go in the corner, which sucks because now my rook's inactive. So I took a rook to have an inactive rook, which I'll go back in the corner. I don't want to keep being checked all the time. That's not good for me. I basically traded a rook for an inactive one. So as long as he keeps the pressure up, I won't be able to do much of anything. So in order to prevent checkmated, I'm going to move this up just to prevent him from checkmating me. If he does, he has the initiative right now and he has the attacks. So if he moves rook down and he captured the queen up, that'd be checkmate. He had a checkmate threat, so that's why I moved my pawn and didn't do any of my other moves. So if he does it now, he basically frees my rook. So he's probably not going to go to b1. If anything, he might take my bishop to slow my attack down. He's pretty well defended. I can't take the a6 square and call check because of his other knight and his queen. So I can't even try to play around with that. My only bet right now is moving my knight in, I believe. So not sure what he's thinking or considering, but it's all right. I don't know what he could have done in this situation, but right now it looks like he's going for my knight. He is going for my knight. And I'm not 100% sure on how to save it. I'm going to keep my bishop on his diagonal, and I'm going to get it out of the way of the knight. The bishop is protecting the one square. However, he still can go to f7 with his queen, which he's not doing. I thought he was going to go f7 with his queen and still try to threaten. Oh, he can't go because my knight. Alright. Oh, I thought he had my knight no matter what, and I figured I'd move my bishop out to try to protect it. So I guess he doesn't have my knight no matter what. What to do, what to do, what to do. Well, he's threatening checkmate. So that needs to be defended first. So I'm going to just move my rook over. And then hopefully I can find some type of a way to attack or get out of this situation. But he is threatening checkmate. In a blitz game, I would have lost. Because I would have, try to find a way to keep attacking. I probably would make king to like h2 or something, and he would have taken my pawn and then continued from there. I might have lost that if I was on a blitz or bullet. Alright, it's 241. I gotta go on the stairs. I hear music, I don't know. You guys probably won't hear it because it's really low, so I'm not gonna worry about it too much. Probably just be bits and pieces of stuff. One second. I'll be right back. Won't be gone for too long. Alright. Sorry about that. I told my son to put the music down. Now, what to do? First thing is thinking about kicking his rook out, but I don't know if that's okay or not, or if that's good. I can't actually take the pawn and threaten my own checkmate. I'm gonna try that. I probably shouldn't rush, but I'm just a little tired from running up and down the stairs and talking. So That was really bad. I think he probably threw the game, and very possibly he just decided to throw the game. Alright, that's a good game. I appreciate the games very much. The first one I was losing and slowly caught up. This one was more chaotic. I can't record another video. Hour in, it's gonna mess up, so I'm gonna stop this right here, and I'll probably accept. But if you like and subscribe, that's fine. I'll let them see it.